good evening. Happy Wednesday night. I'm coming to you at a different time for me. I usually am on a few hours earlier, but we had problems with our power today, but thankfully we are back on and we can have some fun. All right, so today we are going to look at the inspiration box for June. This is the Radiant Rainbow inspiration box, and it is full of all kinds of fun goodies. Let me just go ahead and crack this open. Hi, Tina. I see Sylvia on there too. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Tina. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, it's kind of a weird time for me, but I'm kind of liking it. You guys will have to let me know if this is a better time or not. Okay, the first thing I saw when I opened my box was this Rainbow Sparkle Embossing Powder. And this is really fun. We are going to use, what was that?
Mary Beth said, so exciting.
Hi, Mary Beth. How are you? We are going to use the Rainbow Sparkle box today, the Rainbow Sparkle, I cannot talk. All right, Rainbow Sparkle Embossing Powder. There we go. I spit it out after only 3 tries. All right, let's look at the star of the show in this. This is the Radiant Rainbow stamp set. This huge 6x8 stamp set that has 38 pieces. Look at all of these. You've got 5 different rainbows you can play with. So far I've only scratched the surface. I've used several of these and there's still several that I want to try out. Who said hi?
Candy.
Hi, Candy. And I see Sharon on there too. Hi, Sharon. These are the dies. There's 34 dies to coordinate with your stamps. So this is a crazy good deal. This all by itself, to me, makes the inspiration box worthwhile. I mean, really, this is a great set. So far, we've already got these 2 things. Love them. Okay, let's go on to the next item. So I am in love with the ribbon that comes in the inspiration box. Always really nice quality. This one's you've got some white, some pink, some gray. You've got these fun sequins. And I think it's fun that they're not in rainbow colors because you can put all the color into your rainbow and leave the sequins the way that they are. So many different things you can do. So many ways to interpret your own rainbow. Okay, I have to tell you, this is one of my very favorite paper packs. Paper pads. Seriously, I love this. Wait until you see the prints in this. So you've got this one. This one has kind of an 80s feel to it. It reminds me of my high school days. High school, junior high. And then you've got this one. This one has kind of the trademark Brutus Monroe pattern in it. I think it's beautiful. And then you've got this one that's got more of your triangular shapes in it. And loving this one. But my favorite one, I'm telling you, oh, hang on. We have one more in between. So there's also this one that's really cute. Who did? Oh, I did say hi to Penny. But just in case you didn't hear me, I'll say it again, Penny. Hello. But this piece of paper I'm about to show you is like my favorite piece of paper ever. I wish that I had a whole pack of this paper because I like it so much. I am in love with this paper. Isn't this not the cutest paper ever? It hits all of the marks for me. It's got the polka dots on it and it's got all the fun colors, and those are colors I love. So we obviously are going to be using this paper today too. But yeah, you can get, this comes in your inspiration box, but you can also buy, which I'm sure I will, you can buy the paper pads separately so that you can replenish your stock once you've used it all. And then we've got our conversation clippings. These are always so great to add to your cards or your scrapbook layouts. Love that you can just cut one of these out and you are good to go on that. And of course, we've got our awesome card bases. It comes with, I think it's 5, but just to be safe, I'm going to count them. Yes, these nice, heavyweight, pre-scored, pre-cut card bases. Love them. Hi, Candy. I don't know if I said hi to you.
You did.
Oh, I did. Okay, well, I'm glad I did. But you know, I had to cover my bases in case I didn't. Okay, so let's look at the paper that comes. All right, so this is one of my favorite things that I always anticipate coming in my inspiration box. You get this really pretty glitter stock. And I know I've shown you a lot of you this before, but just in case you haven't seen one of my lives before, I just want to show you that this glitter stock does not shed. It's not like all over the place. Hi, Gina. How are you? Yep. Still nothing on there. Love this. It's a great weight. It's beautiful. The sparkle is just awesome. I seriously don't think that there's a better paper on the market. Okay, and then you've got your layering weight cardstock. And you can see we've got
Love that color.
that purple. Yeah, Darren, this right here is Darren's favorite color. All right, so we've got all of our rainbow colors going on, which is always nice. You can always use those. And these are great for card layers.
Robin says hello.
Hi, Robin. How you doing? Okay, and another thing that you can expect in your box is that it always comes with card panels. Now, you get 2 of each. You're only going to see 1 of each because I've already kind of played with these, because I am really bad about remembering to use my card panels. And then I tuck them in a drawer and then I forget about them. And that is one of my guilty things. So I want to make 4 cards tonight, and they will be quick and simple. Well, mostly simple. Using our card panels. I love these. Now, these are fun because they're printed with toner ink. So if you have a heat set foil, I'm not sure exactly what the term is, so excuse me if I'm saying that wrong. Like the foil that you use with like the mink or the or your laminator. I use mine with a laminator. So this is perfect for that, because all of where it's got the toner on it is going to take that on. Love that. I also will point out that the conversation clippings are also printed with toner, so those will work as well. We are not going to foil these tonight. We are going to do some ink blending. And let's just get started and have some fun. So the first one we're going to do, I have to say, I'm going to do my favorite one first. Usually I save my favorite for the last, but I am in love with this. I think this is so pretty. And it takes so little to do anything with it because it's already pretty now. So we're just going to make a simple card. Using this, we're going to use some of our Chroma Mist sprays today. And I'm going to see if I can just spray them. I would use my my Stamp and Stick mat, the little color thing for that, but I am going to be all over the place, so it's not going to be enough area for me. I'm one of those crafters that you don't want to sit next to at a crop because I just take up too much space. I admit it. I admit that is one of my guilty things. So far I've got, and I know you can't see the whole palette, so I will apologize for that, but hopefully you can see enough of it. So right here I've got Candy Apple Red Chroma Mist, and this is my favorite Chroma Mist color, Magenta Sparkle. And Darren, it's almost your favorite color. It's a little pinker than you like though, but very pretty color. And it has a little bit more like the sparkle in it, especially if you shake it up really good before you use it. But this is just, I'm telling you, it is to die for. And then we've got our Tangerine Orange and our Bumblebee Yellow. I guess I should spray them as I talk about them, right? I want to give a little room to maneuver in. And then we've got I've got Yellow Green. By the way, I should point out that Darren will link everything that I'm using into one link that you can click on and you can see everything that I've used today. And then we've got our turquoise. Now, Chroma Mist spray, I have to tell you, if you have never used this spray, you are missing out on one of, personally, my favorite supplies. because it is really versatile. You can use it as a spray. You can watercolor with it. You can use it with your blender brushes, which is what we are going to do. You can spray it directly and use water. You can do lots of things with this stuff. I'm telling you, it is magic.
Bright colors.
What was that?
Diane said, love the bright colors.
Oh, Diane, I love bright colors too. And these colors are very vivid, and they are, I'm telling you, they are gorgeous. So let's play. So I'm going to take some blending brushes, and we're going to give them a good workout today. And use whatever ones you've got. I've got a mix. I've got all kinds of brands in here. Right now I've got mostly my waffle flower ones, but I've also got Gina K ones. In fact, there's my blue one. And I know that if you can order on the Brutus Monroe. If you get invoiced for it, you can order the tailored expression ones. So did I cover them all? I think we've got them all. Okay, so we're going to start out with, of course, my favorite. So we'll start out with the Magenta Sparkle. And I'm just rubbing my brush in and just kind of grabbing some of that color. I don't want it so wet that it's going to saturate all the way down too quickly. So I'm going to start off my page a little bit. I'm just going to do a little smear of that right in the corner. And then I think we'll go ahead and do the red. Sometimes I'll even just see what's in my brush already, because I do use these brushes so often that sometimes there's enough left from my last project that I don't have to do anything more. And we'll just kind of use that to spread them around a little bit, blend them up a little bit. And if you've got a harsher line than you want, then after it's all dry, you can also use a little bit of water to kind of soften that line between them. All right, let's do some orange. Again, let's check and see what's in our brush. We have some in there, but not quite as much as I want. I'm a fan of vibrancy. Use a little bit of our pink. Hopefully I'm up high enough that you can see me. The tablet's kind of not working, so bear with me. Darren will have to watch to tell me if I'm in the right spot. And I'm just doing this really loosely. You can see I'm just having fun spreading color on my card panel here. One of the things I like about color blending is that it isn't super precise. It isn't, it's something you can do and have fun with. You can just kind of relax and enjoy. And if you're not having fun when you're crafting, you're not doing it right. That's my opinion. Okay, so now we're going to use our green. And that's the only thing that I would say means you're not doing it right, because I think you should enjoy your crafting and embrace what you're doing. Some of your projects will be beautiful. Some of them will be like something I'm going to show you in a little while. It'll make you laugh. Just remember, you're working with paper, so it's nothing too serious if you have a mishap. And usually when I have a mishap, I've learned something really that helps me going forward. All right. I always like to say that I try to take the bullets for you guys, but really that just means that I'm a klutz a lot of the time. So I make a lot of mistakes. Okay, so now we're going to use some of our cobalt. And I don't want this one to be overpowering because it's a little bit deeper color. Oh. You can see I got it all in one spot on my brush. So I'm just going to go back in and try to spread that out a little bit. And again, we may just use a little bit of water after and spread that around a little bit, because I let it sit in one spot too long, and that's okay. Not a big deal. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to my purple. I think I'll do my lighter purple first. This one is called Lilac Purple. And it has a little bit more red in it. So we'll put that on the side with the red. Work our way back into the reds, right? And then I've got the one that is called Blue Violet. So that one's going to be better to go in between the blue and the lilac. There we go. All right. Now you can go lighter than I went because I used a pretty heavy, I was a little heavy-handed when I did it. And that's okay. And if you do feel like it's a little darker than you want it to be, like I said, you can use a little bit of water because the ink, this is also the chroma mist. It's water reactive, so you can spray it and it'll lighten it up. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. I'll show you the other one I did in a minute so that you can see what it looks like when you're a little less heavy-handed, and you can decide which one you like better. Now this is the biggest rainbow from our Radiant Rainbow set. And because I have 4 cards to do tonight, I didn't want to, I needed to do some prep work. So usually I would show you, I stamped this with our embossing ink, and then I embossed it with, this one is with Raven Sparkle. Let me show you how pretty this is. So it's Raven Sparkle embossing powder. And then I'm just going to stick that right on it. I put all of my adhesive kind of in the darker lines. This is pretty good about not showing through too much anyway, but when you're working with vellum, it can be a little tricky. Okay, so we're going to stick our rainbow right in the middle of our card. And if you know me at all, you know that I typically do lots of layers, but I didn't on this particular one, though I'm not done. So I do need to add a few layers just because I wouldn't be me otherwise. Now, I was going to use my stick and stamp mat so I didn't get everything all over, but I forgot. So I might have to use that on the next one. I'm going to just go ahead and trim a 1/4 inch off of all of the sides. Because I like my panels, I tend to really like the 3 3/4 by 5 inch panels so that I can put, I like to put a mat behind them. Okay, so now we've got our card base using one of those nice pre-cut, pre-scored card bases. And I've got a little piece of Raven cardstock. And let me just show you, I've got all of my little doodahs right there. So I used regular Raven embossing powder on this one. And then I decided, I thought that the rainbow stood out a little bit better with the sparkle. So you can do either one. And you can see that this one I was a little less heavy-handed. But I like them both. I think they're both pretty. So we'll use this one. And I'm just going to attach that to the mat. If I sound like I'm talking really fast, it's just because I have in my brain that I need to get 3 more cards done after this. So I wanted to use all of the panels so that you can see how much fun you can have with them and how quick you can make a card with them. That's one of the really fun things and conveniences of having those card panels. And if you love to color, which I really love to color, that's another thing that you can do with them. This one's not necessarily like the best candidate for doing a lot of coloring, but the other ones that we're using, like, you could have some fun with any of these. All right, so now that we've got that on there, let's embellish it a little bit. So I used these cute little wings from our stamp set. I just can't get a hold of them. There they are. Because I thought that they kind of looked like the little butterflies. And I don't want to do too much to it because I think the background is really so pretty. I didn't want to cover it all up. And so we are going to just add, I know that they're in there.
Anne-Marie says she loves the background.
Isn't it fun, Anne-Marie? I like it too. I told you it's my favorite one of all of them, I think. And I think they're all fun. All right, my glue dots have disappeared on me. Give me 2 seconds. They're probably on the other side of my table. Yep, there they are. At least I knew where to look. That's more than I can say some days. Okay, so we're just going to use a little glue dot. And you can actually get a little dimension in there if you want and just kind of bend it up a little bit. I'm not too concerned about that today. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of my Barely Art glue. And we're going to just add a little bow just to give our wings a little bit of oomph. So we'll put our little clouds on. And then we've got our little conversation clippings. I liked this one. It says positive vibes coming your way. For a minute, I thought I had already put that down and I was like, wow, that was crooked. Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm not that bad at getting things straight. Sometimes it is a challenge for me, but that would have been a pretty crooked panel. So we're going to stick that on there.
Emery said this is too cute.
And fast and easy. I mean, granted, I had the one thing already embossed, but really that's only probably less than 5 minutes to do that. So, okay, let's go ahead and put this on our card base. And we'll move on to our next card after that. All right. Okay, one down. Super easy. Okay, so we'll stick that over here. I'm going to put it back here so I don't lay it in that chroma mist. Now this next card, I have to admit, this is the one I'm going to show you that is kind of funny. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one, but it should make you laugh. So like I said, I only had the 2 panels of each, and I tried to make this one work and I just was having no luck. So in the end, I glued these over something, and yeah, see, I have those days too. And this was one of those moments. So what I ended up using this panel for was I actually just cut the back of my sentiment, which is perfectly fine. Though I would say if you are doing that with purpose, then you wouldn't use up. I had to work around what I'd already done here. But again, I like to utilize everything I have. So I cut out some little things that I'll keep for maybe another project sometime. I love to use little pieces like this for ATCs. And then once I get everything that I want off of it, then I'll check it. So that's what this background is from. And then here's that paper that you know I love. And I actually have never tried making a card with acetate on the front before. So I thought it would be fun to try that out. So I just cut down one of our pieces of heat-resistant acetate, and I used my cutter. I have 2 cutters. I have one that I cut with and one that I use the scoring blade on, just because that's easier for me than using the scoreboard. I know most people use the scoreboard, and that's totally fine, whatever works for you. But for this, because it is a little bit stronger, a little bit thicker and stiffer, it might actually be easier to use it on your cutter. So this is going to be our card front. And then we want to just put a little bit, I'm just going to use a couple of glue dots. I don't want too much adhesive because you are going to see the other side of this because it is transparent. So I'm thinking we'll just put some maybe in the corners, some glue dots, and that should be sufficient. Now I cut the paper down, and what I did, because I was just kind of figuring it out as I went along, so I cut it down so that my panel, this card actually, I believe this card is 4 by 5 1/4. Excuse my dogs, it wouldn't be alive without my dogs saying hello. And then after I cut that down to the same size as my acetate, then I cut it in half and then cut up from there. just so that I could keep it all kind of uniform. I wanted to make sure that I got all of the colors and patterns in there. They are outside now. We have dog neighbors on every side, and they are little buddies. They socialize. It's hilarious. Sometimes it's annoying, but most of the time it's hilarious. Okay, so now I wanted to make sure that we could see our sentiment. So what I did was I just cut these little black strips. So we're going to use those to kind of help anchor down our sentiment so it doesn't get lost in the pattern. Though, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, this pattern just makes me happy. And hopefully I cut that the right length. Yep, just had to scooch it over a little bit. All right, and now we'll just... Donna, how you doing? Now we'll just add a little piece over on this side. I keep looking to see if I've dipped my hand in the chroma mist, but I somehow have managed, knock on wood, to avoid that so far. Okay, so now we just need to attach this little piece to our card. So let's go ahead and just take some of our tissue tape. And I'm just going to bend it up for a second. And maybe I'll put it there so I can see it a little bit better. And then we'll just line that up. Probably should have just left it out a little bit. All right. So now, oh, our glue is not dry yet here. Let's see if we can move that up a little bit. And definitely you're going to want to use your crease tool.
Donna R says hi.
Hi, Donna R.
Both Donnas are on today.
Love that. Okay, so if this doesn't stick this time, we'll just add some tissue tape. But I think, honestly, I probably just didn't have enough glue on it. I tend to go a little light on it just because it squishes out if I'm not careful. Okay, so now we can put our sentiment on and see how it shows up a little bit more now. So let's put all of our adhesive on the top part and the bottom part, and maybe go a little easy on the other parts so that we don't see them through the acetate. You know what, I think glue dots for this too. Let's do glue dots. Glue dots are my friend today. I'll put one up in the, let's see. It's like I'm at the end of my glue dots. Wow. Yeah, that's the end of my glue dots. All right, so let's see. It's always sad when your glue dots come to an end. I do have another box, it looks like, so we're good. So So now we're just going to stick that on. And let's just add our little sunshine in there. And I think we'll just add, maybe add that with the glue dot as well. And for now, we'll call that good. We may end up wanting to go back and doing more to that, but that is the first time I've done one of these acetate fronts. So I probably have a few things to learn still on those, but they're kind of fun. Kind of fun that you can see the inside through. But yeah, so we'll put this one aside now, next to our other one. We've got 2 down, 2 to go. So let's do this one next. This one should be pretty quick and easy. So this one, oh, I already did do one panel. I will probably use the panel that I already did because it's dry, but I'm going to show you what I did. So on this one, I just did the same thing with color blending, with ink blending, but this time I'm going to just start in the middle and work my way out. Just pretty much following the pattern. Oops, we need orange next. And like I said, it doesn't have to be precise. You can see mine's anything but. And we probably have enough yellow, maybe. We'll see. No, we need a little bit more. Got our yellow on there. And I probably am pushing a little bit too hard, so be careful not to push too hard or you will peel back your paper a little bit. And when it's wet, you don't want to do that. So be careful. Then we'll use some of our green. We'll go a little lighter on that.
You're using aqua pigment?
Donna, this is Chroma Mist. Yep, everything will be listed in the link. And then we'll use some of our turquoise. But you could do the same thing with aqua pigments easily.
Gina said these cards are groovy.
This one does definitely have a groovy feel to it, doesn't it? This has a 60s vibe, 70s vibe. Even getting kind of a tie-dye effect right now just because it's kind of a rough blend.
Donna said, very pretty.
Thank you, Donna. And then this one, like I said before, we want to go kind of careful with the blue. And I like that it's a little rough, honestly. If you want a little smoother pattern, you can just use even like Simon Hurley ink or whatever. But I'm kind of liking that it's not all completely smooth. I'm liking that it has a little bit more texture this way. So now we're going to go with, looks like I actually, there's not a lot of room left. Let's just use the blue violet. We won't use the lilac on this one.
Sad.
I'm sorry, Darren, I didn't use your favorite color. And I'm just going to use a little bit of the turquoise to tie the blue in a little bit more. just to kind of fill in any gaps. And you can keep going till you have whatever effect you want. You can even use water. Let's just see what the water does, just for fun. So at this point, if I wanted to blot it, I could, and it would take, obviously it would take some of the pigment off, which can be fun. But I told you I'm a fan of vibrancy. So we'll just get the effect of just the spray reacting to the water. And this paper dries pretty quick. It's printed, I believe it's printed on the Perfect Blend paper, which is great. It's great for blending. It's great for if you're using alcohol markers or pencils or anything like that. It's definitely my cardstock of choice. So you can see it's got this fun effect to it. You can see the difference with all of the little bit more texture to it. But we're going to use this one because it's already dry. We'll save that other one for another day. And let's just go ahead and stick that on our panel. If you're wondering why I'm doing this, I just want it to kind of sink into the brush a little bit before I use it for the next card, so it's not so splotchy. Because the next one, I don't want splotchy. Okay. I think when you're using ink pads, it's a little bit more consistent than more liquefied mediums. But I like the effect you get from both. So we've got that going on. So I don't know if you've seen or not, but Brutus Monroe has a new accessory you can get for your stick and stamp mat. It's
Stampin' Buddy.
It's called a Stampin' Buddy. I don't have one yet, or I would show it to you, but it's
Blending Buddy.
Blending Buddy. Darren, you led me astray.
I did.
What the heck? Just kidding. That's all right. You knew more than I did. Okay. But it goes on your stick and stamp mat. See how mine has kind of a line around it where I just kind of blended off onto it? So this Blending Buddy goes over the outside. It's a template you can put over the outside so that it protects the edges and you don't have to get stains on it. What was that?
Donna said kids were done last Friday.
Okay, Donna.
Same as ours.
Yep, sounds like it's kind of the same everywhere on that. I guess I should say Donna said that that school was out where she's out on Friday as well. Sometimes I forget that you may or may not be able to see the comments, so forgive me if I forget. All right, so now let's use a little strip of our favorite paper. Isn't that cute? I'm seriously just in love with it. If you can't tell, I'm a little obsessed. And we're just going to stick that right in the middle. And then I already went ahead and stamped some of the rainbows. I used the same rainbow going across, but I want to show you one thing with it. I just used Simon Hurley inks. I used all of these colors that Darren will list, but basically rainbow colors. And one thing that I did, I will show you. First of all, let's just go ahead and put them on first. It'll be easier to do after. Well, maybe not. Let's do it this way. Okay, so, you can see I've got just a little bit of sparkle on these. And the way that I did that was I used an embossing pen. And I'm pretty sure that we're out right now, but there is a link to the one that we have had on the Brutus Monroe site. But you may already have one in your stash. But embossing pens are really fun if you want to get embossing powder just in particular areas. I forget to use mine, but I think I would do a lot more embossing if I remember. Oh, thanks, Kelly. It's a fun box. There's a lot of fun, cute, bright things in there. Okay, so let's use some of our beautiful new embossing powder. This is Rainbow Sparkle. With a name like that, you gotta just know it's gonna be pretty, right? All right, well, I didn't do that very neatly, but that's okay. It'll do the trick. That's the great thing about it, is it doesn't have to be anything majorly precise or anything. And then after the live, I'll put this back in my bottle so you don't have to watch me spill it all over. So my favorite way to emboss when I have something sort of small is I'll just use my trusty clothespin and just heat it up that way. All right. Ooh, do you love that sparkle? I love just that little added sparkle. Just enough. Okay, so now we're just going to take our rainbows and our hearts, and we're just going to put them on our card real quick. I think we definitely should pop at least some of them up, if not all of them. Let's start with the red one. And I'm just using my little mini foam squares. And this one's really fast. It's basically just stamping and then adding that little bit of embossing powder. And I love that there's dies to match all of them. Okay, so do we want the yellow one popped up or down? I think I like it down. Give us a little bit more depth.
Kelly said cute card.
Thanks, Kelly. So now we can just add our little hearts in there. Make our rainbow a little bit more complete. I think we'll put those ones down. I'm still kind of deciding where we want those. I feel like they need to go something like that. And then we just need to add, this one says, "You're doing great." Don't you just sometimes need to hear that? I know I do better when I kind of know where I'm at, and sometimes I just need the confidence to know I'm doing okay. You know what I mean? Thanks, Donna. We're so hard on ourselves. I think just having somebody reach out and tell you you're doing great, these are a good card to send out, I think. I'm going to definitely send this one out. All right, super simple, super cute, just easy peasy. All right, now let's just do our last one. And this one, we're going to use this one. And I didn't show you actually how I went about making all of this, but really I just did the same thing basically that I did on the other one. If we have time, I'll play with that, but I can tell you right now we won't have time because we're going to be lucky to get this one done. So we'll just go for it. We're going to start with our red. And now, by now I think we probably have enough color in our brushes. We shouldn't have to put too much more in there. And the circular pattern is usually the route to take on that. Though I was just kind of testing to see how much was in mine. Well, I'm glad you're back. We missed you. Oh. Well, I'm glad that it's working for you now. Thank you for coming back.
Emery said so cute. Donna said love it.
Isn't this fun? And look how easy it is. I mean, what am I doing really? I'm just playing around with the brush. I'm not really doing anything that takes a lot of skill or anything. This is just a fun, this is just nice and relaxing. I love ink blending for that. Especially if you're using your brushes that have already had the color in them. Then they're already just ready to go, and it's not as hard to get them to blend evenly. Let's see, we're on green. Let's see where the green will fall. We'll do some green right here. Let's kind of soften that up a little bit. We'll take our green down to about right there. I'll use some turquoise. That is one of my favorite colors. I have a hard time choosing just one favorite color though. But I definitely like my turquoise and my teals. Now we'll use some of our cobalt. That nap game is pretty popular, I hear.
Candy says I think these toner sheets need to be available forever.
Right? I like the fact that you can buy them separate, but yes, I would love for them to be available forever. They are a lot of fun. I skipped a color, so I'm going to have to go back and do that one and do this one here. I skipped our blue violet. So you could just kind of go back over with the lighter color to kind of blend them in. And then we'll go back over to this one. And we'll get a little bit more of Darren's favorite color on there. Okay, so we've got our panel for that. I think we could use a little bit more red on that. Oh no, your smartphone wasn't very smart after all, huh? Sorry, Tina. I hate when things break. Okay, so now the fun thing about this one, I'm going to just show you what I did, and then I'll show you how it turned out. So I just took my foundation squares. Oh, I didn't even show you earlier. So let me show you really quick, just so I don't forget. The die that I used, the shine, that is from our Spring Sayings die set. So that's where I got that. And then I do want to show you that the foundation squares are what we're going to use for this part. And I just went ahead and lined them up and just kind of evenly spaced them. Centered them on there. And then I cut it out all at one time. But I taped them all in place. And then it came up with these pieces. And there is one extra when you do that, but you can just save that piece for another card. I just figured why not? So this piece right here, we're not going to use, but we could if we wanted to. Heaven knows I will use it. So now we're just going to make a faux shaker card. So I've got a little piece of our Not Your Mama's. And I am afraid I am going to go a little bit over, but I will work quickly if you can bear with me for a minute. So I was trying to save a little bit of time. I've already got it. I cut out a piece of the heat-resistant acetate. And I'm going to take 3 of the 4 sides off, leaving one side open so we can kind of use that to load it up a little bit. Because usually if we're making it a really shakery shaker card, we would want some foam for dimension. But we are just going to only see a little bit of our sequins anyway. So I wasn't too worried about it. Okay, that's the sticky side. This is the not sticky side. So these sequins I've loved these ever since I started with Brutus Monroe. These are called Tie-Dye Rainbow. And I just think they're so pretty. I use them all the time. I never get sick of them. And for these, this is really good because we're, like I said, it's not going to be a super shakery shaker card. So I like the fact that they're flat. So we're just going to kind of tuck some of those in. Move them around a little bit. We mostly want them on the sides because we're not going to see the middle anyway. So just whatever you like for as many as you want in there. I don't want a whole lot. I just want a few. I do want to see them though. So if I need to move them around a little, I will. Yeah. And this is more of an accent, not the main focal point. So I'm not too worried about that. Okay. So now we're just going to take this, and I turned it. See how it goes like this? This is how it was originally cut. And I thought it was fun to turn the pattern just to give us a little bit of fun added bonus interest on there. So I'm just going to use glue on that. I think it'll be easier to place that. So let's see. Okay, this is how I had it. Just kind of see if you can get it to line up. It should line up pretty good. You can mess with it a little bit until it does. And this is a first for me, so we'll see how this works. Bear with me if it doesn't.
And we asked, how do you not stick your hand in the chroma coat? My hand would be a colorful mess.
I don't know how I've managed it so far. I mean, I have color, but I don't think it's from that, but for all I know, it could be. But yes, it's definitely weighing on me right now that it's there. I'm thinking since I'm pretty much done with it, I should probably just clean it up at this point. All right. So now I'm just going to take this little piece and place it in the center. I think we'll place it this way. We'll go back to the original. Yeah, I like that. So let's just add a little bit of our tape. And just get that guy lined up in there. And I'm not concerned that the sequins are not showing on all four sides. I just wanted a little sampling of it back there.
Donna said, my dogs are your dogs. You're trying to figure out where they are.
Our dogs would be buddies for sure. Okay, so then I just took this rainbow and I stamped it in Raven ink, and I didn't even bother coloring it because I think it's fun to just get the color from the, I think the color in the back is kind of the star of the show for this one. But I am going to pop up our rainbow. Just trying to get our little foam backers off. Okay, so now we'll just add that little guy. And then conveniently, because I do have a little bit of a gap there. Oh, that was what I was going to do. That was why I hadn't done it yet. That's okay. I probably have enough in my brush. I was just going to use a little bit on my son.
Anne Marie said, I like it white so the rainbow pops.
I like it white too, Anne-Marie. I think it's kind of a fun effect. So now we'll just take our little sun and we will get our dies lined up. So now we've got our little sun and we can use it to kind of cover up that side if we want, which I do because it's bugging me. And let's see, we'll just use these guys again. They're here and they're quick. So let's just pop that little guy up. And then we will use, this one says, "You light up my day." I think we'll just stick that kind of up underneath a little bit. Don't want to cover up our sentiment. Okay, so now we just need to pop that onto our card base. Hopefully I cut it properly because I didn't test it out. I usually will line it up and make sure I did it right, but I guess I'm living on the edge today. Should be right, but you know. Yep, we're good. Okay. So now we've got our cute little square card. And then I'll just pull all of our cards so we can see all that we made from 4 of the card panels. And like I said, if it were me doing it, I would just do 2 at a time and just because it's quicker and then I would have all 8 cards all ready to go. But if you like more spice and variety in your life, you could do all 8 of them differently. So we've got both of those. We've got this little guy and of course our pretty butterfly card. And we got all of those done in just barely over an hour. So honestly, with the embossing and everything, you could probably get these done in an hour and a half. You could get 4 cards done. Super easy. One other thing I should show you really quick before I head out. This is the stamp of the month. This is called Love You, Rain or Shine, and I think it is super cute. Look at this little cute cloud. And then I wanted to show you this stencil is a new stencil. It came out a couple of weeks ago. It's called Hearts and Stars, but how cute is this with this stamp set? I was thinking if I would have had a little bit more time, it would have been cute to put this over the top of this, but I ran out of time, and that's okay.
Donna said, "What a fun collection of bright cards."
Aren't they fun, Donna? They're just so easy.
Other Donna said, "Cute cards, so bright and cheerful."
Aw, thank you so much, Donna. And Donna. This is the Stencil Club stencil this month. This is called Groovy Grid. And this is the Painted Rainbow stencil. So all things to look for. I don't have my dies yet, but when I get those, I will definitely, that I'm sure will be one of the things I use for projects this month. So for our live. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I know, like I said, it was kind of a weird time and kind of just had to roll with the punches on that one. But I really do appreciate your support each and every week. I really do count you as my friends and I appreciate you so much. And I hope that you will have a great week and I will see you next time with something new. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.